python attacks lioness. In the unforgiving heart of the African savanna, the search for water can become a deadly confrontation. Two lions, exhausted by the scorching heat, believed they had found relief. Yet awaiting them was a silent threat capable of killing in mere seconds. What followed left even the most experienced rangers in shock. A scene of such intensity that it will never fade from memory. Stay until the end, for this story will touch your heart in ways you could not anticipate. The merciless African sun beat down upon the cracked earth of the Serengeti plains. The landscape shimmered under the blistering heat, creating mirages that falsely promised water where none existed. Through this harsh terrain moved two golden silhouettes, silent but determined. A majestic male lion, his thick mane flowing, walked beside his vigilant companion, a lioness whose alert gaze scanned the horizon despite her visible exhaustion. For 3 days, a relentless drought had gripped the land. Waterholes that once offered relief had dried into dusty depressions. The once lush savanna now stood as a harsh testament to nature's brutal indifference. Still, these magnificent predators pressed on, driven by the most fundamental instinct of all, survival. Lions can typically go 4 to 5 days without water, wildlife biologist Dr. Sarah Mitchell would later explain. But in temperatures exceeding 110 degrees, that window shrinks dramatically. What we witnessed that day defied all expectations of animal behavior. The lion's normally impressive mane hung limp and matted with dust. His powerful muscles, visible beneath his tawny coat, moved with growing effort as the day wore on. The lioness, typically the pair's primary hunter, took the lead, her senses more attuned to the subtle signs of water hidden in the parched landscape. Each step on the scorched earth seemed heavier than the last. The cracked soil crunched under their massive paws, kicking up small dust clouds that hung in the still air. Overhead, vultures circled with lazy patience, a grim reminder of the stakes in this desperate search. As the sun reached its zenith, the lioness paused atop a small rise. Her ears perked forward. Something had caught her attention. The lion joined her, their massive frames silhouetted against the harsh blue sky. For a moment they stood motionless, a tableau of wild majesty that belied their desperate situation. Then, without warning, the lioness began moving with renewed purpose toward a distant cluster of acacia trees. The lion followed, trusting her instincts. Their pace quickened despite their fatigue, hope providing a second wind their parched bodies desperately needed. That connection between them was incredible to witness, recalled Thomas Bakery, one of the rangers who would later intervene. It wasn't just two animals traveling together. There was communication, trust, a bond that transcended our human understanding. As they neared the trees, a small depression in the earth revealed what they had sought, a muddy puddle, barely 3 inches deep, but water nonetheless. After days of searching, it must have seemed an oasis. The lioness reached it first, lowering her powerful head to drink. The water was muddy and warm, but to the parched predators, it was life itself. She drank slowly, savoring each lap. The lion stood guard momentarily before joining her, his vigilance never fully abandoned even in this moment of relief. In the wild, vulnerability is often punished swiftly and without mercy. What neither realized was that they were not alone in their desperate quest for water. In the dense undergrowth surrounding the small water hole, something else watched. Something ancient, patient, and lethal. A massive python had been drawn to the same source. Over 15 feet long and as thick as a man's thigh, the reptile had lain in wait, its patterned scales providing perfect camouflage among the dappled shadows. For days it, too, had suffered from the drought, its cold-blooded body seeking relief from the punishing heat. As the lioness drank, her guard momentarily lowered by the precious relief of water, the python saw its opportunity. With a speed that belied its size, it struck. Most people don't realize how fast pythons can move when they attack, explained herpetologist Dr. James Wong. They don't have the fastest strike in the snake world, but what makes them deadly is their strength and method of killing. The python's head shot forward, jaws opening to reveal curved teeth designed not to deliver venom, but to grasp and hold. Before the lioness could react, the snake had latched onto her shoulder, its powerful body already beginning to coil around her torso. The initial attack happened so fast the male lion jumped back, momentarily startled by this new threat. The lioness roared in surprise and pain, twisting to bite at the snake now rapidly encircling her. But the python's strategy wasn't one of quick killing. These ambush predators rely on constriction, wrapping their muscular bodies around prey and tightening with each exhale until the victim can no longer breathe. With each desperate breath the lioness took, the python's grip grew tighter. It's a misconception that constrictors crush their prey or break their bones, Dr. Wong noted. What they actually do is prevent the victim from inhaling while also cutting off blood flow to vital organs. It's efficient, but not quick. And for prey as large as a lioness, it would take tremendous strength. The male lion, recovering from his initial surprise, began to circle the struggling pair. His roars echoed across the savannah, a sound of rage and frustration that would soon draw unexpected attention. He swatted at the python's tail with massive paws that could kill with a single blow, but the snake's body was wound so tightly around his companion that he risked injuring her with any direct attack. The lioness fought valiantly, her powerful jaws snapping at any part of the python she could reach. But with each passing second, the snake's coils tightened, and her movements grew more desperate. Blood began to seep from where the python's teeth had sunk into her shoulder, a stark crimson against her golden fur. This was nature in its rawest form, a desperate struggle for survival with no guarantee of a happy ending. The python, driven by the same primal need as the lions, had taken a tremendous risk, attacking a predator that would normally be the hunter. Now it was a battle of strength, endurance, and will. Miles away, the lion's thunderous roars reached the ears of a patrol vehicle carrying Thomas Bakery and his fellow ranger, Michael Commanda. The two men had been monitoring wildlife movements during the drought. When we heard the roars, we immediately knew something was wrong, Bakery would later recount. Lion vocalizations tell you a lot. This wasn't a territorial call or a mating roar. This was distress, pure and simple. Without hesitation, they turned their jeep toward the sound, dust billowing behind them as they raced across the savannah. The clock was ticking. If the lioness remained in the python's deadly embrace much longer, not even her tremendous strength would save her. The question wasn't just whether they would arrive in time, but what they would, or should, do when they got there. Nature's law is often harsh, with death feeding life in an endless cycle. But sometimes, even in the wild, unexpected alliances form. The drama at that small water hole was about to become one of the most remarkable wildlife encounters ever documented. What happened next would challenge everything we think we know about the natural world. Stay tuned for the incredible conclusion to this heart-wrenching encounter.